Hi, I'm Imran Moiuddin, founder and CEO of NexDegree Private Limited, and you're watching me on Web Studio TV.
Assalamualaikum and welcome to another episode of CXO in Focus with your host Aksa Tariq. We have with us in our studio Mr. Imran Moiuddin, founder and CEO of NexDegree Private Limited. Assalamualaikum and welcome to our studio, sir.
Thank you very much for having me, Aksa.
Alright, so sir, before we start with the official questions, how about you introduce yourself a little?
Sure. So my history isn't particularly extraordinary, but I would say that I've been a techie right from the start. I started my career in the biometric space. So when I was working in New York City, I was with a consulting company working on facial as well as iris recognition algorithms, as well as developing a lot of systems that utilize those algorithms. So most of our customers were involved in the public and private spaces. So that work was quite exciting. It was very Minority Report-esque in some ways. But at the end of the day, it didn't quite feel like my calling. One summer when I was back in Pakistan, I had a chance to speak with some people in the industry, and they had some good things to say about where things were headed as far as the economy and the tech industry in particular was concerned. So that summer I decided to stay back, and I said that, let's try something of our own, and that's where the journey of NexDegree pretty much began, which was in 2006.
Alright, so if we could focus on the regional growth and in terms of investment, I think a lot of organizations locally as well as regionally within Pakistan, Afghanistan and Tajikistan are looking into investing into cloud computing because of the efficiency and effectiveness it brings to their businesses.
Right.
How do you think this has grown as a concept within this region?
I can definitely say that there's a lot of demand for it. And when I say demand, a lot of people don't really know what the concept is of cloud computing, but there is a thirst that, let's say, a lot of companies have for better and more effective computing power. And I know some companies within Pakistan have started exploring the realm of cloud computing and are offering some very basic services to a very limited set of customers, but it hasn't gone mainstream as yet, as far as, let's say, Amazon Web Services might go on a global level. To talk things more regionally, so there's a growing consumer culture in, whether it be Pakistan, Afghanistan, Central Asia, and clearly where you've got a growing consumer culture, things will get more competitive. And each, manufacturer, each player in the market is going to be looking for ways by which they can be, a fraction more competitive or more, have better outreach than, let's say, their competition, right? And for that, a lot of these companies have already started to some degree collecting a lot of data, right? You're collecting all this consumer level data, you're collecting all of this user access data as far as websites are concerned, but there's no efficient infrastructure that exists within the country to really start extracting valuable information.
Or to monitor.
Or to monitor, or for example, extracting information that might help them create a better user experience or a better experience for that product, not necessarily for the web, but even for, like, let's say, selling soap. So you've got all this data, but how do you churn through all of it? And what that really does for us is that a lot of small and medium-sized businesses would have the ability to enter the market, right? Because then they have access to all this extra computing power.
And it's filtered out for them.
Right, and not all of these smaller companies have access to the kind of funding that these larger players in the market have. So kind of given this, I can expect to see that with the entry of cloud computing, or at least stuff that can be afforded by the market, you'll see a growth in small to medium-sized businesses. You'll see competitive small to medium-sized businesses and competing on not just a regional and potentially an international level as well. So I'm very excited for the opportunity it holds for both local companies to start cloud computing platforms, whether it be in Pakistan or Afghanistan or other countries in the region. But we'll have to see what happens if, let's say, Amazon enters the market and they say that, we see this demand, so let's go ahead and launch our services on a control level over here. It'll be very interesting to see what happens then.
Alright, so I think one of the major challenges that you faced is, in terms of networking and, guidance. So how do you think you as an entrepreneur, as a local entrepreneur, I'd like to say, can facilitate others who would want to, who aspire to become entrepreneurs?
Right. So I feel that the way entrepreneurs will survive, and in fact will thrive in the Pakistani environment, is by helping each other. We ourselves, have worked very closely with other small companies and entrepreneurs, every time something fell outside our strike zone, we were very happy to farm it out to them. And the same working, vice versa as well. So I feel that based on the networking that we've created over the last few years, we're very happy to refer people. If they're competent and they can do a good job, they're experts in their field. We're very happy to make those introductions and help them get a head start in that. And I think a lot of forums have started coming up. I know that the likes of TIE and Open and I know that Pasha has been working aggressively to creating these sort of places where a lot of like-minded, energetic entrepreneurs can get together and share and exchange ideas. I think we need to see more of that networking to happen. I want to be approached by these smaller entrepreneurs. Help me find business. Like, sure, I'll connect you up with these XYZ people sitting in San Francisco or sitting in London. You can go international at a very early stage in your business, and I'm very happy to help for free.
All right, so we'll keep that in mind.
Yeah.
Okay, so when we're talking about building that network of organizations that are willing to help or assist these budding entrepreneurs, how do you think NexDegree will be able to help with the coming projects that you have?
Right. For us as a company, we've been very passionate about the idea of creating an entrepreneurial ecosystem here in Pakistan. A little work has been done in having these forums, but little's been done from an execution standpoint to make these entrepreneurs actually come forward and do a great job. As part of our commitment to seeing entrepreneurship grow in Pakistan, we've actually partnered with two other companies, NexDegree Innovations as well as Venture Dive, and we are inshallah going to be starting an incubation center in the next 4 months with the goal of providing an environment of where like-minded, energetic, driven entrepreneurs can come in, they can work out of this space, they get to exchange ideas, bounce ideas off each other, and to have that sort of environment which fosters creativity. It should be a fun place, it should be a place where the entrepreneurs will feel at home, where they can really think about how to grow their idea as opposed to that, oh gosh, my internet's down again, what do I do? And our goal in the longer term is that, okay, fine, our immediate goal is to have that workspace and to have that goal of helping them work around these infrastructural challenges these smaller entrepreneurs face.
Challenges that you have faced
Right.
as an entrepreneur, I think will add value to
Right.
their learning as well.
Exactly, and at the same time, we would be very happy to offer some mentorship to these young budding entrepreneurs, like giving our thoughts, giving our feedback on the kind of trends that we're seeing in the industry. And at the same time, open up the possibility of even investing in some of these people that become tenants of this location. Because funding has actually been a challenge, by the way, for a lot of these smaller entrepreneurs. So we want to help, really bridge, let's say, angel investors who are local or international with these young entrepreneurs with these brilliant ideas. And I feel at least getting them in the same workspace is a start, and that's where we want to where we want to see ourselves.
All right, so just before we wrap up, is there any message you'd like to give to our audiences?
Right. My suggestion is to all young graduates coming out of universities, you're in your 20s, you have a lot of energy. My keen advice is that don't waste your energy working for larger companies. You have great ideas. We've seen the passion that you guys have at these events, which bring entrepreneurs together. So pursue those ideas. This is the age to do it. If you've got a great idea, there are people that are willing to back you up, both in terms of mentorship as well as funding even. So pursue your dreams, and without sounding too cliche, stay young, stay foolish, as Steve Jobs had said. This is the time to take risks, and don't fear failing. That's my advice to you guys.
All right, thank you very much. Okay. All right, ladies and gentlemen, that was Mr. Imran Moiuddin, founder and CEO of NexDegree Private Limited. We had a very interesting discussion about, not just cloud computing or biometrics, but in fact how these entrepreneurs can contribute to our local as well as international community of ICT experts. See you next week with another episode of CXO in Focus. Thank you. Allah Hafiz.